Coming on to our main topic, that is RSS Secure ID. So RSS Secure ID is primarily a two-factor authentication method. So in order to log in, you need to provide two different pieces of information. The first one is something which user has, and it is called RSS Secure ID tokens. There are two types of token which are shown on slide: hardware tokens and a software application based tokens. And these tokens are displaying a digit or number. So this is something which user has with him and something which user knows, which is his personal identification number or PIN. So in order to log in using RSS Secure ID feature or a system which is using RSS Secure ID feature, we need to provide our regular username and a passcode. And the passcode will consist of the number which is being shown on the token which user will have with him, something which user has, and the PIN which has been assigned to this token. So he needs to provide username and a passcode to log in. So primarily, RSS Secure ID is a two-factor authentication method. There are three main components of RSS Secure ID system. The first one is called authenticator. So authenticator refers to the RSS Secure ID hardware and software tokens. And second thing is authentication agent. The main job of authentication agent is to receive the information from authenticator, the user, and then pass it on to the authentication manager. And main job of authentication manager is to process the authentication request, which has been sent to him by authentication manager, then either allow or deny the access. And then authentication manager is also used for managing all the things related to RSS Secure ID based system. Authenticators, tokens which have been issued to user names itself, and then authentication agents which are allowed to log in, and everything related to RSS Secure ID is managed from the authentication manager. Now coming on to the first component, that is authenticator or RSS Secure ID tokens. So RSS Secure ID tokens, they come in two form factors. One is software based and the other one is hardware based tokens. Tokens normally they can generate a 6-digit number or they can also generate an 8-bit digital digit number, which is basically a pseudo random number, and it is generated at regular intervals. Again, we can configure that interval. And these software tokens, they can be installed on smartphones like your Apple running iOS, Android, Nokia, BlackBerry, and there's a long list of phones. Even Windows phone is also covered. Or they can be installed on laptops or systems or computers running Windows or Mac operating system. As far as hardware tokens are concerned, again, there are a number of types of hardware token. The two most common one are RSS Secure ID 800 hybrid authenticator and 700 authenticator. The main difference between them is that hybrid authenticator is also having a USB. So with hybrid authenticator, it is possible to automate the thing. So as soon as we will enter or connect our USB to the system, it can automatically read the number and do the authentication. But in case of 700 authenticator, we have to do it manually. We have to read this number and we have to enter this number at the login time along with our PIN. So let's have a quick look at how this token is being generated, or this number is being generated on the RSS Secure ID token. So each token, whether it is a hardware or a software, it contains a processor, it contains an internal clock, and it also contains a private or symmetric key, which is built into that token. Or in case of software, it is stored onto that machine, which has installed that token. So what processor do? It takes two inputs. It takes the current time. So I have already mentioned it has got its own internal clocks. It reads that time at regular intervals. So again, you can fix that interval. It could be 30 seconds, it could be 60 after 1 minute. Normally, 1 minute is used. So after every minute, it will read the time. So that would be one input. Then it will read that 128-bit private key, and then it will run an algorithm. So we are not exactly sure what is being done by RSA, but we will assume that if they are using HMAC, and if you are familiar with HMAC, what HMAC does is basically it takes the private key and then it creates two private keys from this one. They have got a constant which they use to do this thing. So now they have two key P1 and P2. So first they will hash the first win after appending key 1, and then result will be hashed again after appending P2, and finally we will get a large number HMAC output at the output. And then again, it can be hashed down to either a 6 or 8-bit output. So depending upon what you have configured, you want 6-bit output or you want 8-bit output. The only important, so this is the process which is being done regularly on the token. So your token will display a number depending upon configuration, a new number after every 30 seconds or after every 1 minute. And same process is being repeated on the RSA Authentication Manager. So Authentication Manager is also storing this key, and it is also running the clock. So at any time, it is possible for Authentication Manager to basically create the same token, because it has same information, it has same timestamp, it has same private key, it is running same algorithm, so it should get the same number. And I'm sure you must have by this time understood the importance of having synchronized clocks. But there is a way to take care of drift in the clock, but we will not cover that thing over here. So that was about the token. So what token is doing? Basically, it is generating 6 or 8-bit number after regular intervals. And we need that number at the time of logging it. So the second important part of RSA Secure ID system is authentication agent. It is a software application which is installed on a client machine, and client machine could be your laptop, it could be your any other system, it could be a switch, it could be a router, it could be a firewall, it could be a website, any system which want to protect its login using RSA Secure ID, it needs to have authentication agent software installed into it. And the job of this piece of software is to receive the information for user and securely pass on to the authentication manager. And similarly, receive the result of authentication from the authentication manager and either allow or deny the user request. And the most easiest way of implementing an authentication agent on a new machine is to use RSA Secure ID authentication REST API. By using the REST API, it is able to just implement authentication agent maybe within 1 or 2 days. But if we are using REST API, then we need to configure REST API on authentication on our client and also on authentication manager. In case of our client, where authentication agent is there, we need to configure the host name of authentication manager, that this client will be contacting this authentication manager. The port, for example, the default port is 555, or we can use any port, and an access key, which is for security purpose. And this access key is primarily generated on authentication manager. So similarly, as I have just mentioned earlier, on authentication manager, what we will be doing, we will be configuring the IP address and port numbers for the authentication agent. And at that time, once we configure this thing, it generates an access key. So the same access key is configured on the client. And in case, if we want to protect the information which is being passed between authentication agent and authentication manager, then we can use either SSL certificates or HMAC encryption. Now coming on to authentication manager, the main purpose of authentication manager is to process the authentication request and decide whether it should be allowed or it should be denied. The minimum information which is required to process authentication requests sent by authenticated agent is user record. So every authentication manager is maintaining a user record. It can be basically configured into the internal database of authentication manager, but it also provides the flexibility of using LDAP server or Radius server. So if an organization is already using LDAP server or Radius servers, then that can be easily integrated with the authentication manager. Then, as I have already mentioned, it needs agent record, authentication agent record. What is the host name and IP of the client machine which will be contacting? It is more for the security purpose. So only if record is held by authentication, only then that request will be entertained. Then token record, whether it is software token, whether it is hardware token, and mapping of that token with the user. And by now you can understand that primarily why this is needed. It is needed to take out the symmetric key or private key associated with that token, and that key and time and then HBAC, for example, is used to calculate another hash to calculate the exact 6 or 8-bit number which is being sent by the user as a password. So authentication manager will use that information to recreate a number on authentication manager side. Secure ID PIN. So each user is allowed to configure his own PIN. So that information about his PIN, which could be 4 to 8-bit, is also required at authentication manager. And finally, if we are using REST services, as I have just mentioned in the previous slide, if we are using REST API to implement this thing, then that REST API must be enabled and configured on the authentication manager. So RSA, authentication manager, provides 3 GUI-based administration interfaces. So it is extremely easy to administer that manager. It provides operations using these GUI-based interfaces. First one is operation console. It is more for administrators. It is for setting up and configuring authentication manager, setting up identity sources, whether it will be using Radius, LDAP, or internal, whether it will be just one instance or we will be having a backup instance, SSL configuration, so many more things, more of administrative tasks. Then we also have a security console. So we can log into the security console using GUI, and it is for most day-to-day administrative tasks, like configuring agents, adding, removing users, adding, removing, updating tokens, and other things. And the last GUI-based administrative interface is self-service console. It's a very useful piece of administrative interface. Basically, what user can do, he can do all the tasks related to, or he can self-manage tasks related to his tokens. He can, using the self-service console, he can change his PIN, he can request for new token, request for replacement of token. There's so many things which is. So the advantage is he does not have to call the administrator to do this. He can just log into this one and do these things himself. Now, we have understood there are 3 things. There is an authenticator, there is an authentication agent, and there is an authentication manager. These are 3 important components of RSA Secure ID system and how all of them work together. So normally, depending upon whatever device you are using, once you want to log into that device, you will provide your username and passcode. And passcode is a PIN, which I have already mentioned, 4 to 8-bit, plus the number, which could be 8 to 6-bit, displayed on the token. And what authentication agent will do, it will pass this information securely to authentication manager. And the main job of manager is, it will look at the username, it will retrieve the private key, it will calculate the number at its own end, and then it will also retrieve the PIN associated with that user, and then it will check whether PIN and 8-digit number or 6-digit number is correct or not. If passcode matches, then access is granted, and if passcode does not match, then access is denied. This is how RSA Secure ID system works.